Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Welcome, everybody, to our Sunday gathering. We are so grateful you're here. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome. We are celebrating life, the afterlife, being together, the theme of uniqueness, and we are one of a kind. So each week, we just love to put a smile on your face, let you know there's a bigger picture to life. There's more to life than meets the eye, and there's much more to you than you know. So if we can do that, we have done our job. Our friend Darren is taking today off. You'll see Kerry and Phil are in different locations. They are traveling. And then you got me behind the scenes, hostess with the mostest, right here at home with my mom. So I'm not going to say too much more. We'll fill in the details as we go. But Phil has created our Sunday gathering theme for today. So I'll pass it over to him and he can explain more.
Thank you, Sandra, for that wonderful warm welcome, and hello from the United Kingdom. As Sandra's already said, I'm in England and Kerry's in Scotland for the moment. We're just a little bit apart from each other for family reasons, nothing more than that. But we're here, as always, on the Sunday gathering, and it's always a pleasure to be here. And I thought of the theme, uniqueness. And what a headache it has caused me, because when we think of uniqueness, we think of something a little bit different. But there is so much more to it. So today's usual suspects will be Sandra Champlain. She's going to be doing the reading and the healing, as well as the announcements and the hostessing in the back. Kerry's going to be doing the prayers, the address with all three of us, and myself with the mediumship with Kerry as well. But I tell you what I want, what I really, really want, is the chat box to go absolutely mental with why the Sunday gathering is so unique. We have been here for 4 years and everyone keeps on coming back, and we're getting new people all the time joining us. So tell us what is unique, what really, really, really is unique, because I want to really hear it. Anyway, enough of those puns and jokes sort of thing, but it's about getting you in the mood to really enjoy what's about to come your way. And at that point, I'm going to hand over to our wonderful Kerry MacLeod.
Thank you very much. And what I'd really, really like is for everybody to join me in prayer as we open our Sunday gathering. Divine and ever-present Spirit, today as we embrace that uniqueness of our world, of our families, of our communities, and indeed of ourselves, we know that that love embraces us, that love from the divine that allows us to know that we are of the creation and therefore we are unique. There is no person on this planet, within the spirit world or within the physical one, that is identical in every way to another. There is something unique about us. When we look at another, we might see the physical appearance, and yet when we look inside, we see the soul, the whole of who we are. A holistic approach, perhaps, to seeing somebody visually, energetically, and spiritually. So allow us in the next 90 minutes or so to firstly embrace our own uniqueness, and also think of those around about us who we might think as a little bit different, but maybe now can see them as wholly unique. Amen.
Thank you, Kerry. And here's our reading. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among rolling hills, there lived a remarkable group of animals. Each creature possessed a special and unique quality that set them apart from the rest. In this village, being different was celebrated, and the power of individuality was deeply understood. At the heart of the village stood a towering tree, its branches stretching toward the sky like outstretched arms. The tree was not like any other. It was adorned with leaves of vibrant colors, each leaf different, showcasing the hues of the rainbow. This extraordinary tree was known as the tree of uniqueness. Every year on the first day of spring, all of the animals of the village gathered beneath the tree of uniqueness. They shared stories of their distinct abilities, talents, and qualities. The air buzzed with excitement as each animal expressed gratitude for their uniqueness and the gifts they brought to the community. There was Luna, the graceful deer with shimmering golden antlers that radiated warmth and love. Luna's compassionate nature brought comfort to those in need, and her presence reminded everyone of the power of kindness. And then there was Zephyr, the wise owl with extraordinary eyesight. Zephyr could spot the tiniest details from miles away and helped others see the beauty in the world that might have gone unnoticed. And let's not forget about Dash. He's the energetic squirrel. Dash possessed boundless energy and nimble acrobatic skills. With a flick of his tail and a leap through the treetops, Dash inspired others to embrace their own agility and strive for greatness. There were countless others, of course, each with their unique qualities: a singing rabbit, a painting fox, a poetic hedgehog, and so many more. They all understood that by embracing their distinctiveness, they contributed to the rich tapestry of life in their village. One day, a young and timid chameleon named Camille joined the village. Unlike the other animals, Camille was struggling to understand her uniqueness. She found it challenging to blend in with her surroundings, often feeling that she was out of place. Because, chameleons, her colors were ever changing, reflecting her uncertain emotions. The other animals noticed Camille's struggle and gathered around her, offering words of encouragement. They shared their own stories of self-discovery and the journey they had taken to embrace their unique qualities. They reminded Camille that her ability to adapt and change colors was such a gift. It allowed her to bring joy and beauty to the world in a way that no one else could. Inspired by these stories, Camille began to see her uniqueness as a strength rather than a weakness. So she started experimenting with her colors, blending hues and patterns that mirrored her emotions and the beauty she saw around her. Slowly but surely, Camille began to shine, her vibrant colors lighting up the village. With newfound confidence, Camille discovered that her changing colors had a profound impact on those around her. Her vibrant displays of joy, comfort, and inspiration to others, helping them express their own emotions and embrace the beauty of their own transformations. As time went on, Camille's journey of self-acceptance and the power of being unique became a legend in the village. Animals from far and wide would visit the Tree of Uniqueness, seeking inspiration and guidance. They would hear the stories of Camille, Luna, Zephyr, Dash, and the others, and would look at their own unique qualities to make their difference in the world. And so the village became a beacon of acceptance and celebration of uniqueness. The Tree of Uniqueness invited every animal to take one of its seeds and bring it back to its own community in the world. Well, now it's 2023, and the entire world is full of colorful trees of uniqueness. But unfortunately, only the animals seem to see these trees, and we busy humans only see green leaves when we look at trees. However, given the gift of imagination, humans can look at any tree and picture them with a rainbow of colored leaves. They can also look at other humans as the colorful, one-of-a-kind, unique people that they are, and celebrate that we are all part of the rich and beautiful tapestry of life. So here's a quote that I found this yesterday. Embrace your inner weirdness, for it is the magic that sets you apart from the ordinary. Love that. Embrace your inner weirdness, for it is the magic that sets you apart from the ordinary. We're going to go into our healing now, and it is a time with a nice music video as we play. But given that we are all unique, I think sometimes we look for the right way to pray, the right way to send healing. But being that we are all unique, all I ask is that in your own way, you send that heartfelt prayer or thought of healing, even though we don't know how it works. And perhaps we can imagine those beautiful multicolored leaves from the tree of uniqueness just shedding down, and the transformation of the world and the people, not visualizing them as ill, but as healthy, whole, and well, happy. How about that? So I won't say anything else except for I will always love you. We will always love you. You are perfect, whole, complete as you are. And you know where I'm going with this? We have Whitney Houston. I will always love you.
Thank you very much for that beautiful song, Phil. What a lovely choice of theme, and some interesting and unique artists as well. And I know that's not the last of them, is it, Phil? I know in the reading, Sandra, you talked about chameleon, and that chameleon being able to embrace its own colours. Well, I wonder how many people heard the word chameleon and thought, that's me. I change to the company I'm in. I change my language to fit in with the people I'm with. I blend with those around about me. I don't want to shine. I change my colours. I don't want to stand out. Well, I wonder if we allowed ourselves to stand out and to shine, whether we would be seen as that chameleon, whether we would be seen for our colours, our leaves on the tree, whether we would be embraced for being who we are. Because, you know, there's very little of you that's the same as it was 5 years ago. Not just that we're 5 years older, that's a given, but actually the cells in your skin have changed. Your blood has completely changed. Your bones have regenerated. Your teeth, yeah, they're the same. Your eyeballs, the cells in your eyeballs have regenerated. Even your liver regenerates. Your hair grows. You might be like me and have a few more wrinkles than what you had 5 years ago. But you know what? That's what makes us unique, isn't it? That ability to be able to be free and comfortable with who we are. If you're somebody who thinks, oh, I can't say that, or I can't look this way, or I can't speak to that group, or I'd never keep that company, or I can't tell my mum this thing, or I can't tell my dad that thing, or I can't tell my friends that I watch a spiritual Sunday gathering on a Sunday, or I can't admit to my friends that I believe that there's an afterlife, then you might be changing your colours to blend in with those around about you. And in actual fact, those around about you, you can't have their colours because their colours are their own. You have to find out what colours you wear. Now, you can wear a different colour every day as long as it feels like the colour you're supposed to be wearing. How many of us have gone, maybe you've gone today to the wardrobe and picked up magenta and decided you were wearing white, or looked at green and decided you were wearing purple. It's because you've thought of yourself in one way, and then you've gone to the wardrobe and you've suddenly got in touch with a part of you that doesn't quite feel that way, that wants to be expressed a different way. If you can express everything that you are, knowing that you will change, we are getting older. That's one thing about physical life, is we're never going to get any younger. We can behave younger as we get older, We can have more fun as we get older. I know a lady who dyes her hair pink on one side and purple on the other, and wears tartan tights or hosieries, and wears bleach white tank top, and wears lots of unusual clothes and makes no apology for it. And she said, it's a real shame I had to wait till I was 85 to feel comfortable with my uniqueness. She also wears leopard skin shoes. In fact, she insisted that I bring back something leopard skin from our trip in the States recently, because she said everybody deserves a piece of leopard. If your uniqueness makes you stand out, then it's not other people you're worrying about. You're worrying about maybe you feeling comfortable with who you are. And what if you did? What would happen then? Imagine that, being comfortable with who you are. Just a thought. And on that, I'm going to pass you to Phil.
Thank you very much, Kerry. But I think you've got something wrong in there. Hair does not regenerate. It hasn't on my head anyway. But it's a pleasure to be here. And I said earlier that when I came up with a theme, I was really overwhelmed with it, and I was really excited. Then I opened Pandora's box with it because I thought, what is uniqueness? Because I thought it's something that is different, something that we see, that we all reveal as special. Then I looked around and took notice of everybody around me. And I thought to myself, well, everyone's special, everyone's unique. And I had to go to the dictionary. I had to go to Google and say, what is uniqueness? And it states the quality of being the only one of its kind. And I thought, that's all of us. We're all unique. We're all one of a kind. We're all remarkably special or unusual at times. I mean, Kerry's just spoken about a lady, and I was going between two ladies. Then she mentioned the leopard shoes and things. And I thought, yes, I know exactly who that is. And that person is very unique, very special, but she insists she's no different than everybody else. So it's down to one person's distinctiveness, I feel, how we are all unique with everything that we do, the way that we look with our clothes, as Kerry's mentioned, how we speak. You heard the Spice Girls, each of them from a different part of the United Kingdom, all with a different unique accent. Some of them are very local to me, some of them the other side of the country. But that uniqueness, as they all came together, came and made something special. And I also know as well, there's other people out there that have got unique accents. We all come from a local area. We might have a dialect, and there might be variations in that dialect as well. Body language is quite unique as well, isn't it? The way that we can all stand, the way that we can all present ourselves. But I got to my thinking, don't we all do these things? Don't we all dress in particular clothes? Don't we all go to a store and pick them off a shelf? There's nothing really unique about that. Maybe how we put them together is unique. How we speak in accents, we go to different regions, and I said you'll hear the same sort of voices wherever we go. Body language, the way that we act and interact, can be the same. So where it opened that Pandora's box for me, it got me to really think, what is uniqueness? Uniqueness for me is the mind's perception, how we interact with life, how we see life. In other words, our intellect, our character, our beliefs. That's what makes us unique. That makes us that little bit different. And if we think about that intellect, the character, our beliefs, it gives us a unique way to perceive life and interact in life. Because we have different goals, we'll have different dreams, and what we think we create. So we're going to have different life experiences. So the more that we can stay true to self, then we're all going to have that uniqueness in our thoughts, in our interactions, the way that we interact in life. The more that we are the true self, the more unique we're going to be. And for me, it doesn't matter what we do in life, how we associate, where we are. We're all going to be unique because we're bringing that specialness, that remarkableness, that individuality that is called self into those areas. And that is special. That is something that we should be really celebrating, because history shows us that if we see somebody unique and different that is not doing what everybody else is doing, we seem to give them a hard time. In some cases, we kill them off. And sometimes we only celebrate them. And I know a few of you are nodding with that. Sometimes when we celebrate them, it's after they've passed where we're okay to say, you know what, they were really good. They were really special. They did something monumental. They've left a legacy. Well, actually, if we're really intelligent, we should be celebrating those people that are doing things differently right now. We've had some wonderful artists already singing here. I mean, Whitney Houston, that is an incredible voice. That is a unique voice, never to be emulated again. We've got Lady Gaga. When she came on the scene, it was a case of, oh, she's different, she's unique, but yet she kept on being unique. There's a lot of artists out there that are still unique, doing their own thing week in, week out. Everybody here on the Sunday gathering, all those people that come in, even you watching the Sunday gathering, you're bringing your uniqueness here. I asked you because I said I really, really want you to make that chat box go absolutely crazy. And I think you made an effort. I didn't think you did it well enough. So carry on with it. Keep on adding those little bits of things that are unique. And let's celebrate what life brings us. Let's celebrate the unique experiences. Let's celebrate who we really are. And let's bring our uniqueness into the light, not hiding it away. So I want you to dance like nobody is watching you. I want you to sing like nobody is listening to you. And I want you to wear the craziest clothes this week for work or whatever you're doing. Be completely the opposite of what you would do and see how many people notice you. And maybe let's have a huge human experiment of doing that just to see what reactions you get. And let's see if you get paid more attention than you normally would. Let's be unique in our expression, in our language, in our body language, in our thoughts, and let's celebrate life. And with that, I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Sandra Unique Champlain.
Aren't you sweet? Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today. When Phil talked about uniqueness, I didn't really exactly know where to go. Did you know that that story about the tree and the leaves is totally unique? Between me and a little artificial intelligence, we created it just for you. We did. One of a kind, unique. It is exhausting to not be unique or to, I mean, we are all unique, but I think, and I'm speaking from personal experience, there's part of us, I think, growing up that may label ourselves not good enough, or we should be doing this. Do you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh? And he just kind of moped along. It's exhausting not expressing our uniqueness. I don't think it comes easy. Now, I do know that there's some great parents out there who celebrate kids' uniqueness and then they are raised and they celebrate who they are. But I think those are few and far between. I think there's most of us that grow up and we think something's wrong with us or we're a little bit different. And then we work really hard to try to fit in. But who are we really? Now I'm 57 years old, hard to believe. So I think I'm going to be just as unique and outspoken when I'm 85. I do have a leopard print robe. Thank you very much. I do. But there's some freedom in just letting it all go, letting those expectations go, and just being free to be who you are. I'm here to tell you, you are loved. You are loved for being the one of a kind you, warts and all. You know, some of us have gray hair, some of us covered up. There are so many differences between us. And, we see the beautiful people in magazines or TV and, oh, we want to be them. And I tell you, it's exhausting. It is, this row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yeah, it's a dream. And I think when we row merrily in our uniqueness and our full self-expression, it can be a joy. But how many of us are trying to paddle upstream, fit in, be good enough, be the person you think you should be the person you think your parents think you should be or thought you should be? We have this inner voice that never shuts up. Gosh, I wish it would take a vacation. Or I wish it told you the truth when you look in the mirror. You're one of a kind, you're beautiful, wrinkles, gray hair, whatever, a few extra pounds. There's only one of you. There's only one of you who have walked the road you've walked. There's only one of you who have done all those special little things for people. There's only one of you that has that silly sense of humor and that's interesting sense of style. There's only one of you who loves the way you do. There's only one of you that listens the way you do. In my life, I tell you, I tried so hard to fit in, tried to be the best I could be. And you might have heard me tell this story before, but I took a speaker training class and I worked so hard to be perfect, so hard. And out of the 40 people there, after I delivered a flawless presentation, I learned I got the lowest score. Because I tried to fit in so much, there was no Sandra. People found it boring. That one single piece of advice has given me so much freedom to just be me. You guys see Darren and Kerry and Phil and others who've been on our Sunday gathering and people in your life. And why do you love them? Not because they're a clone of somebody else, because they have their uniqueness. We all do. We recognize it in other people. And I'm just asking you to be true to yourself. Have a little conversation with you. Nobody needs to know. What is it that's important to me? What is it I want to do with my life? Am I okay just where I am? Or do I need to be inventing the next cure for something? So many people work so very hard. I remember sitting in a doctor's office with my grandmother. And while Grammy was in the appointment, I was sitting next to this elderly lady. And she just had the message, don't wait. I said, what are you talking about? Her and her husband worked so hard for some day when they were able to travel and see the world. And unfortunately, he got ill and that never happened. So it's the message of don't wait, be present, have that conversation with yourself. Talk to yourself. Self, what do I love about me? Because I can tell you when you are being unique and you're looking at yourself as that diamond with all the different facets, you'll start to realize why other people love you and why you radiate. And it is those people who are unique and are fully self-expressed, like the Lady Gagas of the world and others, that they just shine being them. They're different. And we may not agree. There's some people that I see out there in the world that may not agree, but I have to agree they are unique. And as long as they're happy, they're not hurting anyone, they're fully self-expressed. I think, there's 8 billion people in this planet and we get maybe 200 on our Sunday gathering. So our unique Sunday gathering may not be for everybody, but it certainly is for us, isn't it? So don't worry what people think. I wish I knew this earlier in life. I didn't really get it until probably this last couple of years. In fact, even our first couple of Sunday gatherings, we wanted to do it right. What are the elements? What should we do? How should we do it? And if you were to go back to our very first Sunday gathering and look at our uniqueness and our full self-expression, I'm sure you can agree we are like on the opposite side of the scale. Phil, Kerry, Darren, and I, and yourselves are just free to be who we are. And in that, we love, we care, we want to make a difference, we want to serve others. We're a little bit selfish too, because I got to tell you, when we get to have one of our Sunday gatherings, I always feel like $1,000,000 when it's over. I feel good. Why? Because I get to be self-expressed. I wasn't always sitting in this chair feeling self-expressed. I was nervous. Am I going to come off the right way? Are people going to understand? What if I trip up on my words? Who cares? Let it go. Next time you visit the restroom or wherever you have a mirror, just look into the eyes of that lovely person. One of a kind, beautiful, unique, diamond, sparkling, all the different colors like the tree of uniqueness. The world wants you just the way you are. Shine that light. Let out those thoughts. Let out those feelings. Let out those passions. Let out that silliness. Let out that love. There's no going wrong. There's nobody to compare yourself to except for the you were yesterday. But you, my friend, you are perfect. You are loved. You're beautiful. You're unique. And I wouldn't change you. So have that conversation with yourself. If something doesn't fit in your life, maybe it's time to let it go or work on it. There comes a time that we all will take that last breath before we cross the finish line and get to be with our loved ones. And so many people, I know I've had doctors tell me this, before people go in for an operation, they're looking back and what they could have done differently and should have done differently. Let's have that talk now and just go for it. Clean up if you need to make some amends. But this life is magical. There are those multicolored trees out there. We just have to use our imagination and see them. But let loose and live. The clock is ticking. And from one self-expressed, unique person to another, I grant you, with my magic wand, all the uniqueness in the world. And baby, let it shine. So that's all I have to say for the address. Thank you, Kerry and Phil, for joining me with that. We're going to move on to our demonstration of a mediumship now. And this is just that special time where we remind everyone of just how close our loved ones are. And yes, I'm talking about our loved ones who have passed from this life into the spirit world. They are healthy, whole, alive, fully self-expressed, no more baggage holding them back. They are free to be who they are, who they want to be, sense of humor included, as we see so often. If this is your first time here with us, I'll let you know how this part goes. As you know, Kerry, Phil, and I are your representatives from the human world. On our Sunday gathering, we get a handful of individuals from the spirit world, letting us know that all of our loved ones are with us. Certainly, when we migrate to the spirit world, we get to pursue our passions, we get to live. But there's this thought that they can be there, they can be here. They're just a breath away, a heartbeat away. They're with us so often. So they're with us now. Yes, in that room packed around you, you got all these faces looking at the computer screen or cell phone or tablet, looking at my face probably, all with you. Some representatives of the spirit world are going to work with Kerry and Phil. They'll introduce themselves, however they might do it, with thoughts and feelings and pictures and maybe memories. You'll hear Kerry or Phil give a few initial bits of information about the person. They are very intelligent. They know exactly who is part of our Sunday gathering right now. They do. Believe it or not, they do. You will hear a few initial bits of information about the person. We want you to listen in. This could be your person, could be a loved one, could be a friend, could be a friend of a friend, could be somebody a little distant. But your soul will know that, oh, this might be my person. So they'll give a few bits of initial information about the person. Please, if you can understand every bit of information as they described about your person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, for our new people here and for our returners, go find that raise hand button, press it, see what happens on your screen. It's a good time to exercise that finger. And then you're going to press it again. It should say lower hand. I see all the hands going down. Very good. Sometimes 2 or more people could take the information that's been described. So if you hear your information and you say, oh, that's my person, press your raise hand button. As Kerry and Phil continues, they may say something that's not a fit. So at that point, you're going to want to lower your hand. Eventually, we'll get to one person, or we might have one person straight away. We'll see how it goes. But when we do, I'm going to press something on my side. You'll get something that pops up that says host would like to unmute you, and you just press accept. And that way we'll be able to hear your voice. When Kerry and Phil deliver the information from the spirit world, all we need from you is a good hearty yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give. We want everybody to know that they brought through the information because they're in communication with this person. Sometimes our recipients get so excited. You want to tell us everything, but we're going to ask you not to. Just yes, no, or I don't know. Kerry and Phil are strong. Yes, they are. If you need to say no, it's no big deal. As they teach in their classes, no just means new opportunity. That's all there is to it. So yes, no, or I don't know. This is a time to rejoice. Our loved ones don't just show up on Sundays. And if you don't get a reading yourself, as we know, we have a lot of people here today, please listen to the information. They have a sneaky way of giving some information that it might just help a little bit in your life as well. Okay, so we're going to listen to a song, absolutely. And as I was saying, you know, all those shoulds and things we need to do and we feel we're not good enough, we're going to just shake them off. All right. Not just us, it's going to shake them off, but a little Taylor Swift. So sit back, relax, sing it if you know it. Well, you don't have to invite your loved ones. They are with you, but just use that power of your imagination and just feel that love for who you are. And we'll be back. Love it. Shake it off. Who's up first? Be beautiful Kerry, I think.
I am indeed. I'm just trying to shake off a sense of the spirit world coming in and me starting to yawn here, which is a good sign. It means that they are here. I know when we begin to speak, to work with the spirit world, because we are all unique and the communicators are unique and every Sunday gathering is unique. As mediums, we react to that power in different ways. Sometimes we're a little bit like Taylor Swift, dancing all over the place. I know Mr. Dykes can be like that some evenings. Other evenings, we can't stop yawning. It's not that we're tired, it's the power coming in. So it's a relief to know that they are here. I know that as I begin to work with the spirit world, I know I have Mum here, and I know that Mum would have had a real zest for life. Not only that, I do feel that who I'm needing to speak to would remember themselves and Mum in the kitchen. I feel that Mum would have been making a traditional family dish. It would be very traditional, not just something every day, but it's of their background. And I feel there would have been traditional music of that country playing in the background as well. And I know this would be Mum's background, and she would have been very proud of whichever country or background she's from. I do not feel this is an English speaking country, or if it is, it has a strong sense of another culture around about it.
Thank you very much, Kerry. If you recognize this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button, please, now that you know where it is. Kerry, we have 2 lovely ladies with their hands raised. 3.
Okay, would one of those lovely ladies understand Italian, whether this be, because I suddenly want to speak with my hands. I know that Italian, I can feel myself doing all the hand gestures that an Italian lady would do. Not saying she was Italian herself, but I know there would be Italian culture, Italian background here. And for somebody to take this, they would need to also have memories of being in the kitchen, making this very family oriented meal, but with music on too.
Thank you very much. We have two. We have Nina and Rosemary with their hands raised.
Oh, right. And both of you understand Mum being Italian or from Italy?
Both hands remain raised.
No.
Yes.
Then one of your, now I know a little bit about both of your families, but I don't, whatever I'm going to give is because the mum's given me, I don't know it in advance. One of you must also speak Italian.
All right. Rosemary has her hand raised. So Rosemary does not use her microphone, so I think she'll type a Y or an N in the chat box for us. So she has a Y in there now.
Okay. So Rosemary, lovely to converse with you over the internet. I know that we've met in person and it was an absolute delight. So lovely to converse with you here. Rosemary, you would remember your mum singing in Italian.
Yes.
And you would also remember your mum singing the Italian. There must have been music playing in the backgrounds or CDs of music playing in the background that your mum sang to.
Yes.
And I know that, I mean, I genuinely don't know much about your history beyond what since we've met, but there must have been times, Rosemary, that you were able to sing along with your mum.
No.
Okay, then I'm going to stick with that because I know I can hear two voices here. I know your mum would have sang in Italian. You would have done your equivalent of singing to the songs.
I think she's thinking. Yes. Okay.
Because I know what your voice sounds like. And I know it's probably unlikely that you would have been able to sing as well as your mum, because I know she has a lovely voice. But I can hear two voices here singing. I know there is an incredible sense here with your mum that if she didn't want something done, she wouldn't do it.
Yes.
Rosemary, your mum must have moved. I know you're in the States, but your mum must have moved to the States at great sacrifice to her.
Yes.
That I feel that she leaves some of her family back in Italy.
Yes.
I feel too that the family that she left back in Italy, you would understand an uncle, your uncle, her brother in the spirit world.
No.
Then Rosemary, you would understand dad in the spirit world.
Yes.
And your dad and your mum would have conversed in Italian.
Yes.
Your dad must have had quite a quirky sense of humor.
Yes.
Because as he comes in here, I know your mum's singing, but your dad would have rolled his eyes with fondness as if say, oh my goodness. And you and him would have been able to communicate with this sense of eye contact.
No comment yet. No, she says.
Okay, then you would know that your dad would have, if I were to, because I can see him rolling his eyes, out loudly. You know that your dad would have judged perhaps the way that your mum was and her uniqueness.
No.
Okay. Because I know your dad's, there's a quirky sense of humor. I'm just trying to understand it here. I know this is that his quirky sense of humor is such that, but you understood that you and him have a very similar sense of humor, if I put it, because I know you have a quirky sense of humor, but it's very similar to your dad's.
Yes.
And I need to say that your mum has said, right, that's enough. It's me next. It's me now. Please know, Rosemary, that your mum must have fought for you to retain some. Okay, let me work with this a different way, Rosemary, for you. I know your mum's not been in the spirit world for long, but following her departure to the spirit world, there must still be questions over some things that are left behind that you're trying to resolve.
Yes.
Because I get the sense from your mum, that kind of, go girl, you can do it. And I know you're not one to be kept back or kept small and in the shadows, but I know whatever you're doing, Rosemary, your mum is completely behind you. Now, if you respected your mum's view when she was here, then you'll respect her view from that side of life. Please know that she loves you. She's close to you. I know she gave everything for you. I know that, but I also feel it from her. Please know that her love is absolutely unconditional and never going anywhere. Please know she's right beside you.
Thank you so much, she says.
You're very welcome, Rosemary.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Kerry, and Mom as well, and Dad.
I actually get a sense that I have a father here, and I feel that father would have been a school teacher. I feel that he would have taught either math or science. I also feel that he would have wanted to be a strict teacher, but I actually feel like he would have got on very, very well with his students. And I feel like he would have been very liked by his students because he feels pretty cool.
Thank you, Kerry. Who understands this information? Press your raise hand button. All right, Linda has her hand raised. Linda, if you could press unmute. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda. You understand everything I've said?
So far, yes, thank you.
Okay. And you know, with your dad, he was pretty cool.
He was. His students loved him.
Right? Because I know I get the sense of walking into a classroom and kind of they're not overly friendly, but I understand them and they understand me as well. I also know that your dad used to talk to you about his students getting good grades.
I think so.
And I know that some of his students must have come from areas that didn't have the best of opportunities in life.
Yes.
Because I feel like he wanted to feel like he was making a difference for them.
Yes.
He must have taken things into school as well that would have been snacks or food or clothes for those children who didn't have as many opportunities as others.
I don't think so.
Okay, then he must have talked to you about some of his students. Their clothes they're wearing weren't brand new and sometimes they looked like they weren't well fed.
I don't recall that so much. He did work with disadvantaged students, though.
Okay, then you must have known the area that the children came from.
I didn't live there. I knew the area.
But you knew the area, because I know what he shows me is this area of disadvantage and those children at times really struggling, and I know he understood them. I want to say he must have, and it was math or science that he taught.
Yes.
And I know that he must have been able to put this in a way that was quite interesting for the children.
Yes.
And I know too, as you grew up, he must have made subjects interesting for you too.
Yes.
And I know he would have had books that caught your interest. I can't see your name, Linda. You would know where you also are a teacher.
Not technically, no.
But
No.
you do teach younger children, or you do know how to teach subjects to them.
I do know how to teach. It was part
Okay,
of
'cause
another job.
Okay, I know that your dad is showing that appreciation. He's given that sense of you and him are passionate about learning and offering support to those that don't have the best opportunities.
Yes.
Your dad in one of his rooms must have had bookshelves with a huge array of different subjects of books.
I would not know that.
Then Linda, would you know where you have some of your dad's books still?
We had them for a long time. I gave away most of them when we
Okay.
moved.
Okay, then some of the books that you must have referred to these books with other members in the family as well through time.
I think so.
Because I get the sense your dad's acknowledging him being remembered by you, saying this is your granddad's books, this is your uncle's books. I also get the sense, Linda, that with your dad's books, you still have some other things of his, but smaller.
Yes.
Because I feel like some of them are boxed out, but I actually feel that you have a table with a number of little things of your dad's on it.
Yes.
And it's within your vision, within the room that you're in. Off where you are, Linda, if you looked off to your right, would you see this table?
Yes.
Okay, because I know your dad gives me this impression of him being with you and looking at you, looking at his things. This is him saying how close he is, Linda, and that he sees what you're doing. I also know this is way of assuring you. You must have reached out for your dad within your mind for reassurance that you can cope with what's happening at the moment.
Yes.
And I know this is your dad's way of saying, you can, I hear your thoughts. I taught you well. You've read my books. You've listened to my lessons. You understand. You must understand people, the psychology of people.
Sometimes.
Because I know that whatever's happening with you, your dad wants you to remember how you understand people, how you relate with people. Because your dad was a good interpreter of body language and personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I know that's within you. So whatever's happening in your life right now, Linda, this is your dad's way of saying, trust me, I'm there with you. Just listen to what I'm giving you within your senses, within your intuition.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave your dad's love with you, and say thank you for allowing me to do that for you, Linda.
Thank you so much, Kerry.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm going to pass over to Phil now.
Thank you so very much, Kerry, and to our friends in the spirit world. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kerry. Hello, Sandra. Hello, everyone out there as well. So nice to be back with you all. So as Kerry said, we can get influenced in different ways. As she said, she was feeling that little bit sleepy. I'm very lethargic and very feet up and arms out and almost, so it's completely different. We never know. And it's okay, that's fine. So as I become aware of the spirit world, I know that I have father, and I know, as I was explaining, that I was laid back. I know it's the impression of him with me. So I know I've got father. I know he is very laid back as well. And it's almost what I would say is quite stubborn. He would only do things that he wanted to do. You couldn't get him to do things in the moment. And I actually feel he would revel in that scenario of trying to get him to do something, because I just feel he's got that fighting spirit and that awkwardness about him as well. I also keep on hearing the name of John. So I want to give him his father's name of John as well. And I just feel that he could be, and I can't say any different, a stubborn person.
Thank you, Phil. All right, friends, if you can understand this gentleman in the spirit world and all the information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. Well, Phil, we have two ladies. We have Stacy and Serena with their hands raised.
Okay. I also know where Dad could be stubborn. If you want him to do something in that moment, he would often either ignore or walk out of the room or walk away, and really just, you didn't know where you stood. You're just like I am, left in the lurch. So I know this is part of who he is.
Thank you very much. All right. Serena's hand went down. Stacy stayed up. Stacy, if you would press your unmute button. Hi, Stacy.
Oh.
You can hear me okay?
I can hear you. Okay, so I know, Stacey, I've given you a couple of contacts on the gathering. Okay, so what I'm just saying to the spirit world is, if I'm with you, I want different information. Okay, would you understand though, with your dad, that he could be very much stubborn?
Yes. Yes,
And
very.
even though I know he can be polite and I know he can be morally just, he would have a really funny sense of humor.
Yes.
And if I also said he had a poker face as well,
Yes.
because and if I said when all the family were together, he would do things such as pass wind, but not own up and just keep a straight face.
Yes.
Because I know here he's playing devil's advocate with me, and it's almost like he's not admitting, denying everything, but I know that's just who he was as well. But I also know your dad is a very intellectual man.
Yes. Yes.
And if I also said he knew his geography as well, that almost like he knew where places were in the world.
Yes.
And if I said that either in his work or, thank you, he must have served his country and traveled with that service.
Yes, in the Navy.
Because I know here, but I also want to say he would, as a father, as a dad, play games such as tell me the city of or the capital of.
Yes.
Because I know here, but I also know he loved nothing more than road trips as well.
Yes. Yes.
And you know those annoying games, I Spy?
Yes.
And I'm cruel to my children. I say something like I'm aware of something beginning with S and it'd be the stone in the tarmac, but I know your dad would be like that with that game as well.
Yes.
And I know he would drive people bonkers with it, and he wouldn't let anyone stop the game or change the game because he loved it so much.
Yes.
But I also feel at times he could be quite quick-witted and come out with sarcastic remarks.
Oh, yes.
And if I said he did this in public and sometimes it backfired, like the room went quiet,
Yes.
because I know the memories of doing this, but I know Dad would never change either. I also believe as well that he, in that driving of those road trips, people or the family would be singing together to the songs or the radio.
Yeah.
And I know as you sang, your dad would have turned the radio off to get you singing without it.
Yes.
Almost to embarrass you, Stacey.
Yes, exactly.
And if I said he would tease you by playing games to embarrass you as well.
Yes.
almost send you into a shop to get something that never existed.
Exactly. Yes.
Because I know he's got that mindset, but I also feel that he would have done things almost like in a teasing, jesting way, getting you to sit down and gently pulling the chair out of the way at last minute, putting it back, just teasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That because I know it's just his mindset as he works with me and brings this in. But I also know with Dad, he's a very genuine person and a very genuine father. And I know he's quite honest, because I know he says it's almost where I forgot birthdays and last minute I would go and get a card. Or in fact, I feel Mum would have got cards and written cards for him.
Exactly. Yes.
That's fine, because I know he brings this to mind as well. But you must have photographs, Stacey. Thank you. He's just used a word that's made me laugh, and I'll come back to that in a second. You must have photographs around your house of your dad.
I do. Yes.
And those photographs that you've got different ones, but it's almost like they've all got different facial expressions, like he's being a bit humorous, like pulling faces and things.
Exactly. Yes.
Because it feels like, one, I've got photographs watching me as I walk around the house of him, but it also feels like the special moments captured at family get-togethers where he's pulling those funny faces.
Yes.
Now, with his service, he must have seen action,
Yes.
because he talks about where I mentioned the photographs, he says you've deployed them in certain places. So I feel, one, he was deployed, he saw action, but I also believe with those photographs and the way he expresses it to me is where you've put them in certain places to lift your mood.
Yes. Exactly.
Now, would I be right in saying between you and your sister, your dad would get flummoxed and get your names the wrong way round?
No.
Then bear with me 1 second, Stacey. Would I be right in saying you also have a dog in the spirit world?
I do.
And would you understand sometimes when your dad was a little bit worked up, he would get all the names wrong?
Yes.
Because it's almost like I'm not hearing the dog's name, but it's almost where I'm calling the dog, I'm calling you, but I'm mixed up. So I know when he got in a bit of a tizzy, this is what happened as well. But you must have kept either buttons or souvenirs from that service uniform, the army uniform.
I did. Yes.
And it feels where you've kept actual medals or awards given to him as well.
Yes.
And I actually believe you've got either a passport or a ID document from when Dad was in the army.
Yes. He was in the Navy.
I'm sorry, okay, I know it's the service, my mistake, but you've
sorry.
kept the details of it. Would you understand?
Yes. Yes.
But have I also said that you've still got his death certificate as well?
I do.
And it's almost where I want to say you've got either paperwork which celebrates his service within that Navy as well.
Yes.
But I also feel here there's either a letter of recognition that was given from the Navy to the family as well for his service.
Yes.
Because I know here he's very proud of that background. And if I said he told you stories of how he interacted with his colleagues,
I don't know that.
then if I said your dad was known as a prankster as well,
Yes.
because I know here, I don't know whether to say this, bear with me 1 second. Would there be a memory at a family get together, a party, where he pulled somebody's shorts down as a gaff?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
fine, because I didn't know whether he was pulling a moonie at me or pulling the shorts down just as a bit of a gaff as well. But I also believe that you have a photograph of your dad on your mobile phone.
I do. Yes.
And I know sometimes you've either connected a special ringtone to that picture so it flashes up of your dad when somebody rings.
Yes.
That's his way of proving he's with you and he knows what you're doing. but I also know he's aware of you writing your thoughts down at the moment as well.
Sure, yes.
And I want to say Dad comes forward with the biggest, cheesiest grin on his face in the most embarrassing way, because he knew nobody could keep a straight face. And the reason he's doing it is to bring you a smile to your face right now, because he's aware of emotions with you regarding life.
Yes, thank you.
And I've got to say that you have heard his voice since he has passed as well.
I have, yes.
And you've heard the dog barking as well.
Yes,
Because I know you've asked for the spirit world to be more interactive with you, and I know this is what he's doing. Would I be right in saying with your dad, would you understand where his spelling wasn't the best?
no,
Then would I be right in saying just recently you've been looking at certain words that are not normally in your grammar or vocabulary, and you've had to go to a dictionary or something like that?
yes, just last night.
That's fine, because I know he's aware of it. I know I
Mhm.
talked about Dad's name being John, but would I be right as well saying you would understand the name of John Collins, but not your dad's name?
I'm not sure about Collins.
Because I know I keep on hearing John Collins as I was talking about the dictionary. I know there's a Collins dictionary, but I know I've got the surname as well. But I also know there must be either where we used to live, a road called London Road as well.
Oh, that's very possible.
That, because I know he keeps on bringing it to mind, because I know Dad was, like I said, liked his road trips, but I know Dad would know where things were by the road name, because I know he's got that almost photographic memory that he has.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to leave his love with you, but knowing that he's around you, he loves you, and the reason he's here is to tease and torment you a little bit, but also to say that he heard everything that was said to him while people were stood around before he passed. I'm going to say thank you very much, Stacey, for allowing me to do that.
Thank you so much, Phil. It meant a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Phil.
Good, 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 good. All right. So as I become aware of the spirit world once more, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to pause for a second, because I've just got a little bit of confusion, because I feel more than one person's come in for different people, and I'm just trying to get everybody in order and say, behave yourselves. Okay, that's fine here. Okay, it's part of the evidence, I'll go with it. I know I want to talk about Mum in the spirit world, but I also know Dad's in the spirit world as well. And it feels we're I want to talk about, it's almost like the household is a little bit chaotic. Everyone's talking over each other. It just feels where the household's very busy. And I want to say, in fact, I'm going to rewind. I'm starting to understand that a little bit clearer. I know I've got Mum in the spirit world. I know that Dad is also in the spirit world, but I know Dad passes first, and I know he passes when the person I want to speak to was quite young. I do feel as well that Mum didn't remarry. I want to say she stayed single, but I know the household was chaotic, because I feel I want to talk to someone with a brother. So I know I want to talk to daughter, but I know you would have a brother also. And I get the impression brother's in the spirit world as well. And I feel he passes quite young, and I feel that he would have died by suicide as well. So I know I have Mum, I have Dad, I have brother in the spirit world. I feel I want to talk to a young lady. I know how brother passes, as I've just said. I feel that Mum would have passed with a cancer as well. And I just feel Dad passed with a heart attack. And it feels where the person I want to be talking two would have either had to move in with family, another member of family.
Thank you, Phil. All right, friends, who understands this information? Press your raise hand button, please. Okay, we have Raquel and Brenda, both with their hands raised.
Okay, so we've got two people. But I want to say that Mum was ill for some time, and I just feel that Mum either wasn't able to work at the end because she was exhausted from the family, but I know it's just the way that she keeps on showing the picture. It's almost where Mum needed to sit, and that time after everyone had either gone to school or left the house was the only time she had to recuperate as well.
Thank you. We have three hands up now, and if you
Three still hands up. Okay,
raise it.
but I feel that one of the ladies would remember being either the motivator and inspirer to Mum to keep her going in a way, because I know life was tough for her.
Thank you. All right, Brenda has her hand raised, so we will bring in Brenda. If you could press your unmute button there, Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Are you there? Brenda, we cannot hear you.
Hello, Brenda. I don't bite, honestly.
Well, Brenda, we can do what we did with Rosemary if you like. In that chat box, do a Y or an N. And we can also try to make you a panelist. And if we can see you, you can give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's see if we can make that work. We never like technical difficulties, but they do happen.
They do. I had a major technical incident earlier. That's why I'm on this computer. Not with one, but two computers.
All right.
Okay, that's fine. So, Brenda, if you can't hear us, but you understand, what I'm going to do is let me just go for a little bit, just in case you're searching for the sound or trying to work with it. You would understand that your mum, let's see if you can enter the chat as well, your mum was a very strong-minded individual, and she didn't know the vocabulary to give up. She carried on soldiering, she carried on going.
Brenda says yes.
Yes,
in the
okay,
chat
good.
box.
And it's almost where Mum didn't want to show any weakness, but I know she got extremely tired.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Because I keep on getting this impression from her, but it's almost in a way where you had to motivate Mum at times as well, Brenda.
Yes.
Yes, because I know one of the things I've got to say from your mum is very heartfelt, is thank you for doing what you did. Because I want to say that Mum wasn't always in the best place, and she didn't feel too well, and you could see that in her face, but you never gave up on her.
Yes.
Because again, Mum is so proud, and you know your mum would never ask literally for help, but she's so grateful you were there.
Yes.
Because again, I keep on getting this impression it wasn't just because the physical ailments, though, Brenda, it was also for her state of mind because of grief and loss as well.
Yes.
And I also want to say from Mum, she, as I said, she wasn't always in the most positive place, but I also know with your mum that she didn't want people seeing her like that.
Yes.
And I know another thank you to yourself, Brenda, from Mum is for answering the door and not letting people in to see her as well.
Yes.
Because again, I keep on being made aware. Now, with your mum, she's a very personal lady.
Yes.
And I also know she's not just personable, she doesn't like fuss or attention.
Yes.
And I also believe you would sit in the kitchen with your mum at the table at times with her.
Yes.
And when you were sat at the kitchen table with her, you would go down memory lane with her as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Big
And
letters.
I know mum would have either got photographs out as well and go through who each individual person is and tell you the stories about them.
Yes.
Because it just feels this is way that mum interacted. This was your mum's life towards the end.
Yes.
Because it's almost where I don't want to go out, I don't want to be seen.
Yes.
And I want to say that in mum's words, you brought life to her.
Yes.
Because I know in some of these photographs would be your brother and your father, Brenda.
Yes.
And I know that mum used to talk about your brother's school days as well.
Yes.
And I get the impression that mum would have kept either all your brother's belongings like clothes, schoolwork, and I actually want to say either pictures or drawings by your brother.
Yes.
But I also feel she did the same with dad, kept his clothes.
Thinking. Unknown.
Unknown. Would you understand then with your mum, Brenda, that she wouldn't let go of things? She I don't want to say she was a hoarder, but she kept hold of things.
Yes.
And she knew where everything was, and some of these things were packed away in boxes, but she knew exactly what was where.
Yes.
Because again, her mindset is very accurate. It's almost where that life is. Now, if I also said that she liked to watch the TV,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
in particular, she liked to watch the news channels.
Yes.
Because I know here she likes to keep up with the world, even though she doesn't get out. But I know it's her way of seeing what's going on. And if I said as well, she used to get you to do the shopping for her, Brenda. It's like we need a drum roll in between. Oh, no,
Yeah, I
good. We got to
know.
know.
I
That's what I was
know.
after. So if you didn't, then mum, when you visited, must have asked you to pick up things or give you a list of things she needed if you didn't go out every week shopping.
No.
No. Okay. Because I'm not going to accept that. I know I've done something wrong with what I've seen. So I know I need to look at it again a different way. That's fine. Thank you. Would I be right in saying that mum would keep a calendar on the wall?
Yes.
Because it feels like she would either write on there on the dates when you were coming to visit or family was coming, so she never forgot.
Yes.
Because I know that's what I'm seeing. I kept on seeing lists of things, but I know it when I looked at it properly, it was dates. Okay. Please know that mum is around you because there must be a special date, either her anniversary coming up soon, Brenda.
I think she's thinking. No words. Just passed.
Just pass, because I know it's in her mind. It's almost where you've wrote it on a calendar yourself. Would that be correct, Brenda?
Possibly.
Possibly, because I know it's mum's way of saying everything she's seeing, what you did with her and what you know, she's very much around you, keeping an eye on you at the moment as well. And it's almost where mum wants to not just say thank you for everything you did, but return that favor for you. So I know mum is around you and mum is trying to bring up that upliftment and keep you on track as well. So what I'm going to say to you, Brenda, is thank you very much for working me this way, because it shows everybody else out there we do not need the voice to work as a medium. We're purely in touch with the spirit world and being impressed in the way that we want to. And I know Kerry worked that way as well with Rosemary. So I'm going to leave her love with you, Brenda, and I'm going to say to everybody, it has been a pleasure to be on the Sunday gathering, and I hope you found it very unique. And all I really want to do is pass back over to Sandra.
Thank you so much, Phil. Oh, that was wonderful. And Kerry. And yes, when we are unique, sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes things, we just have to deal with it. I didn't realize I had one of the settings incorrect. So when we did the address, you saw all of us. Sorry. But maybe it was just meant to be that way. So, well, we've got some unique announcements. The biggest one is Tuesday. Kerry and Phil have a brand new class starting. It's an all student practice and mentoring. Students out there, if you want to be the best in private readings, whether you're in our psychic class or our medium classes, this is the class for you. You're going to get lots of practice, new distinctions and practices each week, and you don't want to miss it. Starts at the same time we started today. That is Tuesday. Also, our medium classes have started. So Wednesday, if you're brand new to us and you want to join us, we are 1 week in, but you immediately get the replay from the first session, or you can just jump right in with us. Wednesdays, they're each 6 session classes, except for our Tuesdays, which is 5 sessions. People who are more experienced in mediumship, Thursdays is a medium level 2. What else do I have to tell you? You can join Scott and myself for Trance and the Altered States on Mondays. Scott does a sitting for the power hours on Tuesdays. We sit for healing on Fridays with a trance medium demonstration. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but everything, and I mean everything we've got going on, can be found at wedon'tdie.com. You can click on the store page, register for next week. Also, Kerry and Phil not only do our online classes, but they are hitting the road. They've got some great things coming up. So you want to go to mymediumship.com, and that's their home base as well. They're heading to have an event in England, one in Ontario, Canada, just outside of Toronto. New Jersey they'll be later this year. Coming up next year, Australia, New Zealand, New Mexico, lots of good things. mymediumship.com. Last, I wanted to say, remember that website, wedon'tdie.com. If you go to the radio show page, I just had an incredible interview with the beautiful Frances Key right after her mom passed. Her mom came through her mind in just an extraordinary way, showing just how close our loved ones are. But our busy minds sometimes can't pick up on it, but it's a tremendous story. You can also join our Facebook group there and so many other things. So wedon'tdie.com. I'd like to say also thank you for those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. We don't want to ask, but I do tell you it helps. So if you can, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. We're going to keep on keeping on no matter what. But for those of you who have donated, thank you. It makes a heck of a difference. So I'm going to turn it over to Phil for just a few words for the week. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Sandra. It's always a pleasure to be here. As you've seen, the Sunday gathering is unique and it is different. And for me, going for 4 years is incredible. And for such a loyal following and people's interaction is one of a kind, and it's special and it's remarkable. But I'm going to mention what's just happened with Kerry and myself as we work as those mediums. We never know what is about to happen. We never know what contacts are going to come through, but to do it in a unique way where there is no voice demonstrates exactly how unique the spirit world is. And I know Sandra's mentioned those classes there, but each of you are your own unique medium. The way that you perceive life, the way that you interact with life, because your mediumship, your spiritual ability is a byproduct of who you are. And that makes it unique. That makes it rather special. That makes it not just special, but remarkable. Because you're the voice for the spirit world. You're the voice for those people that want to and choose to communicate through love. And that is the reason why they choose to come through. And we can't guarantee anybody's going to come through, and we can't tell you who is going to come through. We just surrender to that power and let those impressions come by way of thought within the mind, way of feeling, or through audience of what we hear. And it's remarkable to do that. And there's so many mediums out there. And I know Sandra's mentioned Scott and Kerry and myself, but we have to look at other types of mediums that are very unique. Doctors, nurses, artists, people that entertain us. They have a special ability and a talent, if you will, for what they do. So for me, we should be celebrating each and every one of you's uniqueness in whatever you do, because you make a difference in this world. And sometimes we don't get told if we make a difference or what difference we make for people. So I'm going to speak for the 7 billion people to each other, that you are all unique. You are all magnificent in what you do. Do not stop believing in yourself. Like I said earlier, sing as if nobody's listening, dance as if nobody's watching. Do not worry about other people's reactions, because I guarantee this, there'll always be somebody that doesn't like what you do. But that's their opinion, that's their view. You're unique, you're special. Do what is true to you. And if you can do that, I know this world will be a better place. It won't just be a better place, it will be a safer place with lots more peace within it. So ladies and gentlemen, celebrate your uniqueness. Be true to who you are. Live your best life and live each day as if it's your last and make the most of it. Be happy, smile, be kind, be courteous to others, but most of all, enjoy yourselves. And I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. And it is myself that is going to take you into prayer. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we can go into that divine silence and just take a few seconds to celebrate who we are within our uniqueness. Great infinite spirit, we sit before you once more under that banner of We Don't Die, that banner that stands for unity, community, for peace and truth and love. We celebrate our uniqueness within our hearts, but also that gift of life that you've given us, that we can shine within this world, that we can go out and share our truths and shine our light quite brightly. As we know that we're all brothers and sisters and related through that love of yours, Father. But most of all, we want to ask for that blessing of peace, that healing, that upliftment for each and every one of us, and hold a thought within our minds of all of us holding hands around the world in a one world, a oneness, a unique and remarkable thought and grace of your love, Father. That is what we hold within our hearts. And it is that thoughts that we say, Amen.
Thank you so much, Phil. And thank you, Kerry. Thank you, friends watching and being part of our Sunday gathering. And thank you to our friends in the spirit world. They're so close. They really, truly are. We never say goodbye. We don't, because we'll see you next week, of course. But In Sync says bye, bye, bye. So we're going to listen to our closing song. Another unique Sunday gathering. Love to all. Go to wedon'tdie.com. Go to the store page. Register for next week while it's on the mind. We love you all. Go let your light shine. Go tell you yourself you love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. You're one of a kind. Mwah. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.